beautiful. It's Joe again, and week 16 is now complete. Are you ready to talk about those numbers? Because it was time for the 4-week weigh-in body measurements. All right, let's get into some details. So, per my last video, one of the things that happened is I got that new scale and was trying to compare numbers. All I can say is the other scale is all over the place, but I have gained some weight back, it seems like. My body is just leveling out with some stuff, I guess. I mean, it's to be expected to a certain degree from everything I have read about or know about from the fasting lifestyle. However, one, it's hard to say because my numbers were so erratic because I couldn't get any scales to give me consistent numbers or consistent to each other numbers. They either said drastically different numbers at all, or they said something different every time I stepped on the same scale. So bear that in mind. I am feeling pretty good about the new scale though. I weighed in at 178.4 this morning. So that is 12 pounds heavier than my last official weigh-in. But I just think those were deceptively low numbers. I think that I've been a good 10 to 15 pounds heavier than I was thinking from the very beginning. Because I did find my paperwork from my last doctor checkup. I had a lipoma in my ab, and I just needed them to tell me that is not a concerning lump. That was just a little wobbly bit of fat. Whatever. And at that weigh-in, I was 215. Not the 204 I believed I was when I began this based on those scales that were telling me. So I do believe I am 178.4. I think that is going to be a fairly accurate number. I am just going to stay away from any other scales and trust this one for now. We'll see how things continue to go. I at least have been watching it over the last half of a week and getting on it at different times of the day when I have eaten or haven't eaten and stuff, and it's giving me normal ranges based on that kind of thing. Now, that being said, I may not have lost any more or even potentially gained a pound or two. Who knows? But I'm still losing inches. It's obviously not happening at the same drastic rate it was initially, but so much of that is bloat and what they call the whoosh, where your body just releases all this moisture. And your fat cells just kind of let go of all that moisture. So I have weighed in. Bust 42. So no change from my last 4-week weigh-in, but I had a different sports bra on last time. So at my 100-day, I had gained half an inch, but I don't think I really had. That was just not my usual sports bra, so it was a deceptive number. It wasn't supporting the same way. Chest 35.5, so under bust, which is another half inch lost. Waist 35, which is another 1/4 inch lost. Hips 47.25, which is another 1/4 inch lost. Upper arms, hard to say, really hard area to measure. I am coming up with 16 inches on the right and 15.5 on the left, which is approximately the same, but the skin is really lax here. So, if I'm even squeezing the measuring tape a little bit too much, it might be pinching and pulling. It's really hard to get an accurate number here. I can say that it is hard to wear those arm shapers for all day or too many days in a row, just like when you're wearing Spanx or any kind of other binding garment like that. Your skin just starts to itch because it's not used to having something on it, and it takes hours for it to get right, and I'm just itching under there, which is a problem for wearing it all day every day. And then obviously if I'm wearing a shirt like this, I mean, it's a little bit too in your face to be trying to wear them. So I'm not wearing them on an outfit like this. That being said, it is still nice that I can, if I'm wearing something with a 3/4 sleeve or a mid-length sleeve, I can still have that on and just improve the whole visual at least. Back to the numbers. So, lower arms. So, forearms, still 10 inches. No change there in quite a while. There's not a whole lot of extra flash there. There's some, but I think that it's going to go a lot other places first before anything else might happen there. Calves, 16 inches on the right, 16.5 inches on the left, which is another 1/4 inch off of both. And then the thighs. Big Mama Jammas are at 26 inches on the right and 26.25 inches on the left, which is an inch lost and 3/4 of an inch lost, respectively. So, I mean, it's still coming off. And that's why the numbers are hard for me when it comes to the scale, because I want just to be able to track it. But you cannot live your number, you can't live your life on that kind of a number, because the measuring tape is going to tell you a whole different story, and you have to believe that story most. It's just a matter of learning how to measure accurately. I use the camera to make sure I've got things even and straight. It's one of the reasons I record the process. Now, there wasn't a whole lot else extra this week. I already had my midweek post, which told you about all the newest stuff, including that interesting thing where when I got glasses in February, and I was buying some online, and they were asking me about this whole little number at the end called add 1.25. So yeah, apparently I wear progressives now, and nobody told me. So that was an interesting thing that I mentioned last week in the unboxing section of the video. So yeah, I'm like basically in bifocals except the no line progressives, and I didn't even know it. So that's really interesting. So it has been hot as blazes here. So I'm really glad that I got the Salt Stick electrolyte supplements, because there have been days when it's just so blazing hot. I am hot and sweaty and odd feeling, and that extra electrolyte boost really seems to help. So there is one day I wound up taking 3 caps throughout the day. But 100+ degrees, even in a dry place like this, is hot. It's a different kind of hot from where I'm from. I'm from Texas, where it's a blazing, stuffy, melting humidity, cut it with a knife thick. And it isn't like that. I love that I can get under a tree here and it's cooler. That's not really a thing in Texas, but it's still hot. We are waiting for monsoon season to kick in, and I'm hoping that that will take the edge off soon. It's taking its time arriving though, which is concerning me. So Fur Baby is on the mend. He refuses to let me pick him up so I can show him to y'all. He just wants to lay here at my leg, and I don't know what to tell you, man. He's not a camera baby. Apparently, he's done with the camera. He's like, I'm not lifting my head. I want to be down there. But he has a little bit of some marking still. The main scab has gone. He's finished his antibiotics, and there's no lump anymore. He's well on the mend, back to his self, his own personality, everything. So, as y'all know, I have been struggling to get my morning walks for a while, and I've just given myself permission to take a little break. I think just, it's not the walk, it's getting up that early. I don't mind waking up early, but I don't feel motivated right now to get up and get dressed and get out the door and get the walk. And I just want to get up and sit on the couch for a minute and just chill. And so, you know, I've just decided maybe that's just what my body needs, and to give myself that break. So I have given myself permission to not do anything but yoga for a little bit. I do hope and intend to not let that become a habit, and I am going to get back on track eventually and hopefully soon. But, you know, I've been struggling with some Achilles tendonitis in my left ankle for months now anyway. So when it comes down to it, my ankle could probably use a break anyway. Not going to let it fall completely by the wayside, but maybe once this hottest part of the year has passed, it'll be easier to get back on track. Because I have to say, if I don't get out there at 6 in the morning, it gets too hot to walk real quick. Because here's the thing, it's not even always about the temperature, but the sun is pounding here because we're at a much higher elevation. I'm at almost 6,000 feet. I think I'm about 5,500. I am closer to the sun, and it feels like it sometimes. The only other really big thing is doing a lot of housework that included going through my closets to pick out the things that are not really my style that I dragged home, that I thought, hey, let's see how this is, or things that are officially too big and I have no intention of wearing again ever. We're just going to commit to that. There may be a handful of things I eventually decide to keep because they're so me and so my style or somehow sentimental. But, and you know, having one outfit or something, two outfits to go back to should the worst happen, because people backslide. It happens to people all the time. But I don't intend to keep a whole variety of clothes that are available to me as bigger. As things get too big, I will be washing them, donating them back to the thrift, and finding something new. As of right now, I have been bringing in blouses here and there that are smaller, but I have not been bringing any new jeans yet. I still had quite a few jeans that were considerably too small in a box in my craft room that I had been considering taking up to the thrift, and I'm glad I didn't. And I haven't got through all of those, and I'm not undersized of all of that yet. So there's still a variety of ones that were weirdly shaped, deceptively sized. You know how it is. You're like, oh, it's an 18, it'll fit. The devil is a lie. That is the smallest 18 I've ever met. That's an 18, and I'm wearing way under an 18, and it's still tight. That is so not an 18, you liars. Can y'all have some kind of consistency with numbers from different brands? I prefer a curvy fit jean, for example, versus a slim cut because I carry a lot in my hip and tummy. And that stuff has to be factored in. So there are ones that just will never work for me just because they're too slim cut. Those gotta go. I filled 2 garbage bags full of clothes and then gave them to a girlfriend so she could go through them because she's similar in size to where I've been. And especially some of the ones that weren't really my style. And I just dragged them home because they were the right size. And I'm like, hey, maybe I'll wear this. I didn't wear them. I'm committed to my style. What can I say? But 2 bags of clothes are cleared out of my closet. Soon I will be doing a big bunch of laundry because my washing machine was broken. I think it's going to be fixed soon, and I'll be able to catch up on all the laundry I'm behind on. There are benefits to having too many clothes sometimes, like when your washing machine breaks and unless you want to go to the laundromat, you just go a while without doing laundry, and I can do that because I got a lot of crap. I never knew I was a clothes horse. But there it is. So, remember when you're doing this, measuring tape, measuring tape, measuring tape. And just enjoy when the bloat goes away. Because there is a difference between water weight and bloat and fat. Right now, I'm losing fat. The initial time, I think I just lost tons and tons of bloat. And now it's leveled out to a nice steady trickle. And that's good. A steady trickle is still going down, and I'm happy. Now you have a beautiful day, and I will catch you later.